Hey everyone, welcome to LSN Today, the channel all about self-improvement, offering money tips, life tips, and learning something new every day. In this video, we'll be discussing Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps and how each step gets you one step closer to accomplishing financial freedom. We'll go over my personal favorite of how to visualize each step, finding the motivation to get started, and how each step works. Let's get into it. I hope you learned something new today. Before we dive into each step, it's important to know how the 7 baby steps work. I personally like to compare them to Maslow's hierarchy of needs that we learned back in grade school. If you're not familiar with Maslow and his psychology theory, it's basically about the emotional stages of growth within humans. In order to reach your end goal, in this case financial freedom, you must work your way up each step similar to what Dave Ramsey recommends in his 7 baby steps. You cannot jump between steps. You first have to establish each step one at a time. That way you're covered off along the way to achieving financial freedom. So what are Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps and how do they help you establish this financial freedom? The basic focus of the steps revolves around first saving money for emergencies, then paying off all your debt, and then building on your wealth. If you're looking to get more financial tips from Dave Ramsey, then I recommend reading his book, The Total Money Makeover. I'll link it below in the description for you guys, but this is basically where the 7 steps came from. So I personally like to tackle my goals by setting myself up with motivation. I like to find my why, as in, why am I doing this? After all, it takes time to accomplish financial freedom, and you need that motivation to help keep you going. So ask yourself why. Why am I doing this right now? And that's going to be your motivation to help you along the way. So here are the 7 baby steps. Have a close look at them. We're going to be diving into them one by one. Remember, like Maslow's hierarchy, Dave Ramsey recommends being established in one before you move on to the next one. Now, I put all the 7 baby steps on the screen so you guys can see and try to match up where you're currently at. You may not need to start off on this first one, so be sure to skip through. So the first step right off the bat is saving $1,000 into an emergency fund. You're basically putting $1,000 away into a checkings or savings account, something where you can easily access that money in case of emergencies. After all, you may not know when something terrible may happen like getting a flat tire, so it's easy to have this money saved up and easily accessible. This also helps to not accrue more debt on your credit card by having this cash on hand. So the first step is rather easy as you can see, but the second step may be a bit difficult for a few people. The second step requires you to pay off all your debt via the debt snowball. The debt snowball is simple. You're basically paying off the lowest to the largest amount of debt in that order. By paying off the small debt amounts first, you're getting these little wins along the way that help motivate you throughout your journey. Now, here's why I think this step is the most difficult. Some people may have more debt than others, and those people may be stuck on this step for years and years on end. Now, if this sounds like you, think back to the beginning of the video where I mentioned the why, as in, why are you doing this? For me personally, it's about eliminating that student debt so I can focus on my family and the future. For those of you that need it, use the why am I doing this as motivation to keep going. So after you accomplish baby step 2, Dave Ramsey recommends finishing a 3 to 6 month emergency fund as step number 3. At this point, you have paid off all your debt and you may only have a mortgage left to pay off. Keep in mind that this 3 to 6 months emergency fund should be calculated off of your monthly expenses. This is to cover off on any job layoffs that may happen or any home or car repairs. In the case of the large repairs, you're paying these off in cash since you already have it. This way you're not accruing any more credit card debt that you don't want. Now that you accomplish those 3 steps, the next step is to put 15% of your income into tax-favored retirement accounts. Most people would say to look into getting that employer contribution match on your 401k and then also look to something like a Roth IRA to max out. Depending on your age, the maximum contributions may vary. For traditional and Roth IRAs, that number is $6,000 for 2020. For your 401k, that number is now up to $19,500. Now, the next step focuses on saving for your kids' college. I personally like how Dave Ramsey introduces this step because he makes you think about other alternatives. Rather than sending your kid to college, he makes you think about other alternatives like trade schools. Now, if you choose to not have kids or you already set your kids off for college, then consider establishing college funds for your nieces and nephews and being altruistic. So at this point, you paid off all your debt, you set your kids up for the future, now it's time to pay off all your mortgage. Dave Ramsey says that by this point, you're already tracking where all your budget is going, you're tracking your money, so this step should be easy to knock out. Any extra money that you're getting at this point should be used to pay off your mortgage, so think about your tax refunds, think about your pay raises, think about your yearly bonuses, all of that should be used to pay off your mortgage. Now after this point, you pretty much established financial freedom, and Dave Ramsey recommends to continue to build wealth and ultimately give a bunch of it away. Think about people that are at this step right now. A prime example is Bill Gates. He's already covered off on all of these steps, and because of all his wealth, he established the foundation to help others. Now, I think it's great that Dave Ramsey mentions this because it's important to give back to the community. So there you have it. These are Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps to accomplish financial freedom. So let me know what you guys think about these 7 baby steps. What would you change if you could? I personally would have liked to seen him include some fun spending money throughout all of this. After all, you need that motivation to keep going. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you learned something new today.